here rise with us or you be online, we say a word of prayer and then we begin today's meeting. May we rise, everyone, if you want to. Our Father in heaven, we are thankful for another time like this. You've given us wonderful sessions in the past, and here we are listening to this session here again today. And we ask that this meeting will go excellently, and everyone here will be enriched in knowledge and understanding. Thank you in Jesus' name. Amen. All right, please be seated, everyone. And once again, we'd like to welcome everyone online and here present in Port Harcourt at the Deepwater Presidential. We will surely make all recognitions known with all the personnel that we have with us. Now we'll take a brief safety moment before we begin the introduction of those on the high table. So for the safety moment, I would like to quickly share with us an experience that has to do with seatbelts. Now, it's becoming more and more commonplace, particularly in the transport system in Nigeria, that we don't take much caution regarding seatbelts. So it's so important that even if you're a driver or you are not a driver, do make that effort yourself to ensure that all the passengers in your vehicle, they do have safety. Take the seatbelts seriously. And more, we have had reported cases of near misses and some incidents of related friends. And particularly if you're not the driver or if you do take a public transport system to travel, it's your duty to ensure that the driver himself uses the seatbelt. Because more and more drivers, they tend to be comfortable not using the seatbelts. So if we enjoy you, and also here for Harcourt, I've also observed not only parents, you see little children at the back of their cars or in front, jumping in and out without the seatbelts, which is a very dangerous situation. So please, I'd like to encourage everyone and those who you love and you know that they should always use the seatbelts. All right. So thank you very much. Listen, I have. All right, we'd like to make some quick introductions on some of the persons. All right. So for all of us here present in the room in Hotel Presidential, if you do require to use the conveniences, they are located towards the back. Now, we understand there is no planned emergency drills. So if you do hear a fire alarm, please note that it's serious. You may have to look for the nearest muster point, which is on the door to my left. That's for those of us here in Port Harcourt. So right now, I'd like to introduce a few persons with us who will be chairing this occasion, as well as the team of panelists. And we would also like to recognize all our reps, which I will do shortly, of NAP, who are presently online with us. But here in the room, I would like to first introduce to the high table the chairperson for today's meeting. He is none other than Dr. Clifford Ubachi. Please can welcome him as he goes to the high table. Also on the high table, we have among us, he is the managing director of Strata Search Limited, and he is Professor Michael N. Oti. We'd like to invite him as well to the high table, sir. And certainly, at this moment, we also invite, while we are with one or two other persons, we'd like to invite our very own chairperson in charge of the Port Harcourt chapter of NAPI, Dr. Magnus Kanu, to the high table. All right, so once we have other guests present with us, we shall make those word introductions of them when they come into the room. Now, I will leave the floor for the PHCC to introduce all the wonderful guests we have online. So at this point, I would like to invite him to make his opening remarks so please put your hands together as we welcome Dr. Martin Stanley to the microphone for some brief remarks.
Good morning, everyone. I think of the APCC, a lot of times we try to say APC. The APCC deserves a round of applause, how he masterfully, conveys this kind of inspiring, intriguing, and very a big pleasure to see. So just to say a warm welcome to everyone, those here physically, and of course, the growing participants, the virtual space. Such a delight to be here and to have the NAPI family meeting for the month. That's what I like to call it. NAPI Harcourt family meeting for the month of June. We had the last technical meeting last month. Was well attended, participants online physical space. Was very beautiful, cerebral discussion, quite insightful, quite engaging. And we are back here to keep faith with our connect. So thank you for making our time in spite of the many distractions, occasioned by many things, not the least, the economy and other things, but you still found time to be here. It speaks of your commitment to what NAPI stands for. It speaks of your dedication to reaching out and connecting with the community for knowledge and seeing where also we can benefit and contribute to our common cause. I am particularly happy that we have some of my, in fact, I will call my boss. My boss is connected with us online in NAPI. The NAPI president is here. So, President, I salute you and deeply appreciate your time connecting with us today. So this meeting is actually super blessed because you're here. Of course, we know also the vice president is here. Thank you, my colleagues, other members of the ESCO at the national level for connecting. Today, what do we do at NAPI? NAPI, the technical meetings, they provide us an opportunity, both at the personal level. Sorry, I don't have any rehearsed speech, so I'm going to keep it short and light. At the personal level and also at the national level. And at the personal level, what I like to think that the value proposition of NAPI is that it helps you to fulfill your destiny as a geoscientist. It provides you with that opportunity to really fulfill your destiny as a geoscientist. And at the national level, we provide platforms like this for interaction, integration, collaboration, knowledge sharing. By chance, we provide ideas that make the Nigerian oil and gas space more thriving, more professional, more profitable. And that's what we seek to do. And there are several other opportunities for mutual benefit as you are part and parcel of what we do at NAPI. And so today, we're able to be here today because of our sponsors for the month, Means Energy Technology. Thank you very much, my dear brother and friend, for doing this with us. And this month has been beautiful. We're going to call you up for some, few remarks sometime in the program. So thank you. We deeply appreciate you. We also deeply appreciate Sharpshooters, our ally, also part of our sponsors that are here to provide glamour and media coverage for the kind of work that we are doing in this space to ensure that there is accurate record keeping and for the sharing. So thank you wherever you're connected. I wanted to really, be part of it. We have a very interesting topic to discuss today, and Mr. Ernest Ikpolo, who will be duly introduced, is going to do a good justice to the topic today we are discussing, and I'm sure that you're going to benefit a lot from it. And my colleagues at the high table, thank you, Prof, for showing up today. And I'm sure that Mr. President will be happy to know that you connected with us today. And of course, the chairman of this occasion also that will also be very well introduced. But I'd like to, give a little airtime to our national president, Mr. Ogunjobi Abiodun. He is connected online. Sir, I'll pass the microphone to you right now for your presidential speech. Once you can do that, then you can be sure that we are good to go today. So pronounce your blessings upon us. So over to you, Mr. President. And we just can hear me. And he's ready to go. The humming sound shouldn't compete with his voice. Sorry? Okay, President, you should unmute yourself. I think you're still muted. Maybe you're talking, but you're muted. Can you unmute and then speak to us, please? We must hear your voice today. We have time. Is he speaking? Let's go, you're still muted. Okay, we'll be tracking him. Once he can speak, we can take his speech. If not now, immediately, then we can take some time slightly later. But you are duly recognized. And my colleagues, once again, thank you for connecting and really deeply appreciate it. I'd like to welcome is your muted now? Okay, can he try? Let's see if we can hear him. Yeah. Oh, that's fine. Thank you very much.
Let's put our hands together. PHC. That's another standard for those warm remarks. They are very much received. All right, right now we'll be getting into the main activity for this morning. And I'd like to now properly introduce the chairman of this occasion, who is ably represented. So let me introduce the chairman of this occasion, and he is none other than Mr. Adubiki Okezie, MNGS M. Nafi Comedy. All right, he is the managing director of MISTEC, and his father was the first Nigerian geologist and first indigenous director of the Geological Survey of Nigeria. That legacy, right? That legacy, and one of the founding fathers of Nigerian Mining and Geosciences Society. He obtained the first degree in physics from the Aganoba University and did an internship with Chevron back in the days. He also had a master's in environmental management at RSU and a master's in engineering degree in geotechnical and coastal engineering. He joined Western Geophysical in 1986 as a crew manager, and afterwards he became the coordinator within Nigeria. So he resigned in 1991 to found Geomarine Systems Limited, which has become one of the most successful indigenous Nigerian companies today. That's encouraged by finance together. He's a member of NMGS and NAVI and a registered public geoscientist, and he's also was the chairman of the Distinguished Lectureship Program for the Port Harcourt chapter of NMGS. He is a visiting lecturer in geosciences at the Center for Petroleum Geosciences of the University of Port Harcourt. So he's ably represented today by none other than Dr. Cliff Imbachi. So I think I will hand over the microphone to Dr. Cliff Imbachi, who will himself introduce the speaker for today and tell us more about how we proceed in this meeting. Over to you, Dr.
Good morning, everyone in the room, and those watching online. It's a pleasure to be here. Like he has just introduced, I was just presenting more of his year, and in his brief remarks, I want to start with brief remarks. It would have been a great pleasure to be here today. I was mentally prepared for it. it will have been an opportunity to do something I used to do years ago. Unfortunately, explosion arose, and I had to thank a dear friend, a colleague, and a brother to stand in for me. He is Mbachi, as have been introduced. PhD. PhD is a veteran of seismic field operations where they bring heavy load from. I am sure he will guide the proceedings well. Heavy load, meaning amplitude versus offset variation, or amplitude variation with offsets, is a geophysical and a mathematical tool that makes it possible to extract information about reservoir characteristics and response under various offset configurations. That is the simple way to put it. As they say, the crunchy sound of the bitter cola being eaten does not translate with a smooth taste. We shall now leave you in the hands of a person who crunches every load and knows the text. Please welcome Mr. Ernest Ikpolo of Offshore to get us on the ABO characteristics of the Aganoba Deepwater portfolio offshore Nigeria. At this point, I want us to welcome Ernest. Please, can you stand at the podium? Ernest, as I know him, we started a race somewhere. My classmates, but we did some courses together. He is an enthusiastic and accomplished multi-scale geophysicist with over 22 years of industry experience, with a proven task record of providing best quality contributions and leadership in the delivery of integrated geological and geophysical evaluations in collaboration with other disciplines to accomplish desired end-to-end targets. Ernest has strengths in organizational leadership with strong integrated capabilities and good team play. Ernest started his early career in the industry in the year 2000 as a field seismologist responsible for seismic data acquisition and quality control before he joined Shell in 2002. His first assignment in Shell as was a corrosion seismologist in the integrated subsurface studies team, was responsible for integrated subsurface studies. Ernest has also supported the carbonate business planning process as asset development planner for land west and east area assets in Shell. For the greater part of his career, Ernest has worked as a QRSO reservoir geophysicist, where he was responsible for delivering specialist project support in the areas of project prospect opportunity maturation, integrated quantity reservoir, modeling, water planning, borehole seismic, geohazard assessments, area operations support, project integration, project assurances, capacity building, technology development, and business stakeholder engagement. In his current role as a processing geophysicist, Ernest is supporting the benchmarking of latest processing technologies. Ernest acquired his Bachelor of Technology degree in Geology in Geophysics Option, Federal University of Technology, Owerri, Nigeria in 1998, and a Master of Science degree in Applied Geophysics at the Riverside University of Science and Technology in 2015. He is a member of Nigerian Association of Petroleum Specialists and also a member of Society of Petroleum Engineers. Standing before us is the first lecturer for today who will be speaking with us.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the High Table, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, and members listening via the online transmission. So I'll be introduced and I'm here to talk about the topic before us, a quantitative seismic avian response atlas for the Aganoba Deepwater portfolio exploration offshore Nigeria. So before I continue, just give you the next slide so that I can quickly mention that the organization that I work for has a statement that we ought to be aware of some definitions and some cautionary notes. So you can move on to the next slide. This presentation, I will go with the outline as listed. First, we are introduction and challenge statements, and then we'll look at the location of study, where this atlas is being developed for, and then we go into some bits of theoretical concepts. And I'll talk about the method with which we executed the work, and then we'll talk about the results and some conclusion. So let's go to the next slide. Okay, so this particular area of study, the Aganoba is located in Deepwater Offshore. And then in this Deepwater Offshore, we know that it has a water depth range between 950 and 1,500 meters. And also we have proven oil and gas in this area. So what we actually are looking at now is near-field opportunities that are existing around this place that have not been tested at the moment. So looking at the regional portfolio, we have identified some opportunities that we need to screen to really understand what we have in those opportunities. And there are different methods which we use to do this screening, but we are going to focus on one of them, which is the APO method. So the APO itself is one of the methods for screening. And the work we are presenting today is to show us how we are able to develop a tool more like that is used to screen for APO in this area. And the chair already mentioned what APO is. As we go further in the presentation, I'll also talk a little bit about that. Next slide, please. So this just to show us the location area. This is the area of study in this region, where we have the water depth between 1,500, between 950 and 1,500 meters. So then in this area, the hydrocarbon trapping mechanism is essentially channels, orbital channels. So that's what we are looking for. So we do not expect to see continuous, traps that are extensive, or that are turbulence that come in and go out, and mostly in a shale dominated environment. Okay, next slide, please. So let's talk about the theoretical concepts. First of all, we know that the APO attribute is a popular DHI for direct hydrocarbon indicator, and it's capable to discriminate fluid response from seismic. We can be able to tell fluid response from the APO. And why is that so? Because we have the fluid type in a reservoir, in the rock, has an influence in the property of the rock. When fluid is introduced into a rock, it influences the density of that rock and also influences the velocity of that rock. And of course, we know that some of the parameters that you measure from seismic. Then also we know that with depth of burial, as sediments are buried, there is a compaction effect that happens. So this compaction effect also has some influence on the density as well as on the velocity of the rock as it is buried deeper. So if you have a very deep rock, shallow up, the density can be different from deeper down because of the impact of these overhauling weights. So that's why it's important for us to also account for depth of burial below mudline when we are looking at AVO responses. Okay, then also the popular Zorbis equation is able to show the link between AVO response and the angle of incidence, as well as the seismic wave velocity and density contrast. between the reservoir itself and the overburden. So Geophysicist was able to define a very complicated equation. We go to the next slide. Okay, before that, this just to tell us about AVO. Go to the next slide, tomorrow. So this just tells us about AVO. We have different classes of AVO. We have the class 1, we have the class 2, we have the class 3, and we have the class 4. For the class 1 AVO, if we are using the normal, the SCD convention, that is what we have here displayed. I will explain that in the next slide. So we have the class 1 where we have a hard positive response that becomes a bit softer as we increase the offset. The class 2, you have a response that is almost transparent at the zero incident angle, and then with offset, it becomes soft and continues softer. There's a class 2P, which is the one above, C part of the class 2, that is positive at the near offset and becomes negative at the far offset. Then we have the class 3, which is the typical AVO that most of us are conversant with, which is negative at the near offset and continues to get negative. So it is bright and gets brighter with offset. And then we have the class 4, which is behaving in the opposite direction to class 3. Next slide, please. All right, so here we are looking at the convention for displaying this, because most of the time we are familiar with looking at seismic as windows. So when you look at the seismic response, we need to understand what convention the response is being displayed for us to see. So if we have a piece of rock, above it is soft and below it is hard, the acoustic impedance will increase as you transit from the soft overbody to the hard on the reservoir below. So you have a positive peak in acoustic response. In terms of reflectivity, it comes up like a positive spike. So here we have two conventions. One of them is normal convention, the SCG American convention, where a hard response is shown as a positive peak. And then we have the European convention, where a hard response is shown as a reverse peak with a drop. So we don't need to be aware of this when we want to interpret AVO, because sometimes if we don't know the convention in which our data are being displayed to us, we might misinterpret the AVO that we are looking at. Next slide. So this is the Geophysicist equation, first set of equations that was used to show the relationship between the seismic wavelength, velocity contrast, density contrast, and the angles of incidence. So this is the equation, which was further simplified by Shui in the next slide. Go to the next slide. It was further simplified into a fixed-term nonlinear equation where we have the reflectivity response is equal to the reflectivity at zero offset plus a factor known as G, sine squared the angle of incidence, and another factor F multiplying the tangent square of the incident angles minus sine squared of the incident angle. So the term G is also shown here, and the term R0 is shown here. So if you look at all this, one thing that comes out clearly is that the reflectivity is a function mathematically of density contrast, velocity contrast, that's density contrast, compressional velocity contrast, and also the shear velocity is also embedded in the equation. So you see, if you have a good way of modeling the density, the velocity, and you know the angle of the wave propagation, you will be able to determine the AVO response that you can expect from those interfaces. This equation also was further simplified to just a two-term equation where R theta is R0 plus G sine squared theta. So these are just the mathematical aspect of it. So in case you want to know more about it, you can also look at most of this information can be gotten in the public space, and you can also increase your knowledge on that. So let's go to the next slide. So how did we go about building this robust atlas for AVO screening? The first thing we did was to take the original rock and fluid models that have been built over the field, and we looked at them, and then used those rock and field properties to generate brine trends. Brine trends are, for every rock, depending on the fluid in it has a response. So we want to know the response when the fluid in that rock is brine. That's what we call brine trends. So that is achieved by using the Jasper substitution to remove back out the effect of hydrocarbon, or if you are lucky to find a brine saturated rock, then you have a good measurement to calibrate your responses. So we do that, and these trends are measured, as a factor of depth below mudline. Very important that the depth below mudline tells us about the effect of compaction. So the depth of burial of the sediment or the rock below the sea floor has an indirect response in terms of the compaction that we expect to see. So when you look at your log data, you always see there is a positive drift in values for density and for solid velocity. So as you go deeper, they continue to increase in a normal compaction sense. You only see reversals when the normal compaction is no longer consistent, like when you have higher pressures or excessive porosity. So, but apart from that, the normal compaction trend, we need to cater for it by taking our models with respect to depth below mudline. Okay, so then we now model the APO responses based on angles of incidence from 0 to 45 using the Geophysicist equation. And then we finally calculated the type of APO we expect in this region with respect to depth below mudline. Remember, the essence of this is to be able to quickly look at the responses we see on our seismic and try to match it to the APO pattern of known fluid responses to help us in our screening exercise. Next slide, please. So this is one of the assumptions that went into building the APO models. We had some regional studies that were done earlier in the Aganoba field, and then we took the rock and the fluid properties to build our brine trends. Okay? And then subsequently, remember that these trends were built by data. So if you put in data to build a trend, there's a range of validity. From the data we use, we have samples from depth about 1,500 to 3,000 meters below mudline. Anything outside of this range will become an extrapolation and not reliable. So our input data covers this range, and so our models are valid within this depth range below mudline. Then we now have the raw trend for the different sand phase sheets. Also, we know that the phase sheet itself has its inherent property. We have different types of sand, we have channel sands, we have thin beds, we have channel margins, and so on. So we have to build trends for each of those phase sheets separately. However, for this presentation and this study, we are focusing on the main channel sands, which we call in this case 4 to 8 phase sheets. Then we now have fluid property, because the fluid itself has property that also influences the rock behavior. We have fluids of different types. If you are familiar with, let's say, hydrocarbon, you have light fluid, you have heavy fluid. They are all fluids. You have gas that have different gas gravity, they have different moduli, and so on. So we needed a representative fluid sample that we could use to, do the modeling across the area. And we made use of Flat 14, which is a calculator, a free calculator, and that was developed by a consortium. We use that Flat 14 to compute the fluid property that will go in to the model. So go to the next slide. With the trend that we built, we came up with these equations. So we will focus mainly on the 4 to 8 channel axis. So for VP or compressional velocities, we found that with this equation, this number multiplied by 2 particle depth below mudline plus the constant can reasonably define our velocity, compressional velocity with respect to depth in the field of study. So we have that. And then we also have for other phase sheets, and then we have density relationship to VP, and we also have the shear velocity to compressional velocity. This is for the sands. So we've gotten our trends for the sands, Then we also need the trends for the shales, because you know, most times in Niger Delta, which is a classic environment, traffic mechanisms normally you have sand reservoir and then you have a body shale that forms the sea. So we also need to be able to model the velocity of the body and the contact of the body. So if you go to the next slide, we have for the shales. Similarly, we have to model the conventional velocities as a function of tubercle depth for the shales. We also have the density as a function of VP, and we have the shear as a function of VP. So all these equations were generated and tested to be sure that it represents the locality in which we are going to apply them. So when you go to the next slide, let me also the representative field for the A3 reservoir that we use, we have the DP for the oil, the row, and so on. All these went into the computation for the Zobrist model. Okay, next slide. So I talked about depth trend. Here we have a plot of the properties. In this case, we have for here, this is the shale properties, and here this is the sand properties. So this is the sand properties, and this is the shale properties. So we have the acoustic impedance, which is a product of the velocity and the density. You can see for the sands, there is a positive drift towards the right. So as you go deeper, the general acoustic impedance increases, showing us that there is a depth trend in the data, which we have the data for by using our TBD BML as an input. And also for the shale, we also have a depth trend. And the way we picked it, these are end member samples. If you look at the color scheme, it's not very clear here, but you can see for the sand, there's a cutoff for based on V shale. The V shale cutoff is showing us that we picked just the clean sands. And for here, we also picked the shale by using the V shale cutoff value. Next slide. So here now we are testing our regional models with the local values at respective well locations to see how well can this model represent the area we want to investigate. And the test is that we have on the right, we have the blue curve, which is the sand, the brine response, the red is the oil, and then the green is the gas. Normally the colors, it is not clear, but that's the color that went in. So we have that, and then you see these yellowish stripes. These are showing us the areas where we have our samples. The situated logs, these logs are brine substituted logs. So for every section where there is hydrocarbon, we use the Gassman fluid substitution to back out the hydrocarbon, and we have a brine log. So if you look very well, for depth below mud line that ranges from 1,500 to 3,000 meters, we can see that the brine logs, the blue log, touches the end members of the sands, both for the VP, I think this is VS, and this is the density, and this is the AI. So you see, it touches it at the end member, the brine is blue. So we show that for this particular location, our trend, for our end member trend for brine sands is accurate. The other two are fluid substituted trends for oil and for gas. And also see that when we apply the fluid substitution, you see that it makes them softer and they go towards the left of the brine curve. So if we go to the next one, so that this is for the second well, this is for Aganoba one. You also see the same thing for depths below 1,500 meters below mud line. You see that the curves are perfectly fitting. At very high depths for this model, we see that there are some areas where the gas model could have fallen apart. But the good thing is that the brine and the oil model are still intact. And the depth here is just close to 3,000 meters below mud line. Go to the third well. So the same story for the third well. This is for Aganoba 21. So we have 3 wells taken from different locations across the field. And these locations is to let us know if this model can be valid in the entire area. Now we've seen that the regional model, speaks to the local values at those locations, we have confidence that we can apply the regional model across the area and get the result that we'll get if we were to drill a well through that location. So that is, we are trying to build a model that is scalable from location to location with high confidence. And that's what we have done in this case. So we go to the next slide. We now look at everything in terms of the relationship between brine sands, overburden shale, oil sands, overburden shale, gas sands, and overburden shale. What's the relationship? If you see here, if I take the left thing, you see that the brine sands at the very shallow point, shallower than 1,005, you see that it's to the left of the black hole shale response. So you can see that the shale response for the shallow sections, the brine is softer to the left. So when you say to the left, it's less than the value, in terms of value, it is less than that for the shale. That's the acoustic response left. When it's left, it says soft. When it is harder, it says hard. So in this case, the brine is to the left. All of them are to the left at this technical, but as you look at this stuff in detail, when we go further, you see that brine sands are softer than shales for depths that are less than 1,700. But from this value upwards, you see that the brine sands become harder than the shales. So you see the brine is now to the right of the black hole. And you see that it is the brine sands that is the first to become harder than the shales as we are going deeper. Same reservoir type, same rock type, but because of the effect of depth of burial, you see the effect in terms of hardness and softness. So it's important when you are analyzing APO, you need to understand the depth at which you are looking at, because those things have an impact on the properties of the rock. So the next one is the oil, which comes in at about the depth of 2,000 meters below waterline. At that point, it becomes harder than your body shape. And then as you go deeper, and shapes. So generally when they say we have a soft sand, we have a hard sand, you don't understand what we are talking about, because it's in terms of the acoustic response, AI, acoustic impedance of that formation. And remember, in the equation that I talked about earlier, the Zobrist and Schulz equation, APO is a product of the contrast between those responses, PPPS, density, and then the angle of propagation of the wave. So let's go further to the next slide. So that information we have in those trends, we're now converted to numerical values by taking up the readings for those curves at each of the respective depths below waterline. And that was fed into the Zobrist model to run an APO response over angles ranging from 0 degrees, which is like incident offset, 0 offset, to 45 degrees. So what we see at 1,500 meters below waterline, we see an APO response that look like this. Essentially, what you can see here is that the top of the brine curve is flat. You don't even see any amplitude relation with offsets at this depth if it is a brine field reservoir. Whereas if it is an oil field reservoir, you still see a flat gradient, but you see some magnitude in the near stack, in the stack domain. That is the R0 or at the stack, you see some magnitude, but with offset, you don't see so much variation. And then also for the gas, it's always similar. So in summary, for 1,500 meters below waterline, we expect to see a class 3 AVO for oil and gas. However, the class 2 is expected for brine. The fluid type distribution cannot be done. The fluid type distribution can be done in stack up and down response, but for AVO, it will be difficult to use AVO at this depth because there is no change in magnitude with offsets because of the rock property and the depth of burial. So let's go to the next one. So for 2,000 meters below waterline, we begin to see substantial changes in the AVO pattern. In this case, what we see clearly is that for the brine, we are seeing more of something like a class 1 AVO. Whereas for the oil, it's a class 2, and then the gas is more like a class 3. So in this case, you can see how the APU is changing with respect to 10 kmol for the same free configuration in the reservoir. For the same free configuration, you see the APU response will change depending on how deep that reservoir is below the mud line. So if you go to the next one, we also have a similar story, the same method we use. You can also see right now, most of them are class 2P response. We have the prime is class 1 because prime did not cross over the zero amplitude. Prime remain positive all through, but the other are class 2P, so it's crossing over. So you see, that's how we model for the APU response we expect and different tests for the different fleet configurations. Let's go to the next slide. Similar story for 2,700 meters. We also see the APU pattern. Now, more of the APU is tending more towards the class 2P and towards the class 1. Next slide, please. So, having gone through all those depth samples for the different locations, we have now a catalog of expected APU response with respect to depth below mud. This is key. So when you are looking for APU response, you need to know how deep am I below the mud line. If I am at 2,000 meters below mud line, I expect, for example, my brine to be hard. I expect my oil to be hard, but the APU will be class 2. And then I expect my gas to be soft, and the APU will be class 3. So that is how we came up with this table that will be used for screening of the what we see in seismic and far offsets to see what kind of fluid will be giving rise to this APU we are seeing on site. That's the essence of this catalog. So let's go to the next slide. And here we did a test using the Aganoba Southwest 1 well. This well can be drilled, and then we have the reservoir properties. So you can see the top of the reservoir is a lithology log showing us the top and the base of the reservoir. You see the cyclic response at the top, and then you see the base. So let's focus at the top response, which we are discussing all this while. Look at the APU response. You can see the top response, the good or disease. You see this is more like a class 2 response for the class 2 response, and then we have a class 2P for crime. And then so you can see how we have modeled, and we have checked this against our atlas. So for atlas, we found out that this blind test that was done showed clearly that the atlas we have modeled kind of aligns in terms of the in-situ oil response, and also it was very close both for the gas case and for the brine case. And we also did this test for the other 2 wells in the locality. So what we can conclude from here is that these are APU model atlas that we use to do a screening. So you don't have a well penetration, you don't have a well loss, so you have a trend and you have a depth below mud line. You can look at the APU response you are seeing on the seismic data or on your near and your far stack, and then you can use that to match the type of fluid that will be giving rise to that response. And the significance of that is if you see an APU response on your site that does not fit or align with what your model is telling you, you now need to do a more detailed investigation to understand what is actually responsible for the APU response and see. Next slide, please. So in conclusion, we've done a comprehensive study in the area, and we've been able to produce a catalog that can be used for APU screening in the Aganoba area. And also we have shown how the blind test that was done on the wells, Aganoba Southwest 1, Aganoba 1, and Aganoba 21, they've been successful. And then finally, we have seen that this catalog is reasonably suitable to use for screening, and we recommended that this be used for screening. So it is something that will be done, and at the end of that evaluation, we will be coming again with more detailed results of how the screening exercise has done. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I say thank you. Go to the next slide. I want to acknowledge the sponsors that are allowing us to make this presentation of this forum. So I say a big thank you to all of them. And thank you for listening. So it's time for Q&A.
We want to thank our guest lecturer this morning for taking his time to brief us on what he has done in Aganoba jail concerning the LVO. From what he said, we know that he said as we go to, the LVO response changes as we go deeper, and the time also changes. So he did a very good, he did a very good work with the work he has keyed into. Now, I don't know if we have patience before he sits down, or you can take questions out. So please, if you have questions, and I see your hand up. Those online, please, if you have questions, you can just type it, so we'll take care of it. Or you can speak up, okay. These questions. Let me start. Mr. Okay, just.
That's everybody. Thank you very much, sir. But I have some curious questions to ask. During your introduction, you mentioned something about the class of AEO. And I'm just curious, you said that class 1, class 2 are not familiar, but class 3, they are much familiar, or we're not acquainted with it. So I want to know why. And in the course of your lecture, you said depth is a significant factor to consider. Yes, you mentioned something as in class 3, it gets brighter and brighter as you go down. I am trying to understand if depth is a significant factor to consider, how come it gets brighter with depth? And the next question I will ask, in your seismic data analysis, do you take factors like signal or noise ratio or interference? And if yes, how are you able to tackle such situations?
Thank you so much for the questions. If I start with the first one, he said how come the class 3 is most common. Well, the reason is simple. For prior to now, most of our exploration activities have been based on shallow reservoirs, not very deep, shallow. And these shallow reservoirs have significant contrast between your body shale and the sands. And then, because the sands are soft, you always see a movie. So it's always bright and gets brighter. You are using the for example, the anti-set convention, or the other way around, also set your display. So it's always moving very bright with offset, the brightening increasing. So that's class 3. For the other two class, for class 1, for example, it's bright, and then with offset is getting dull. The human mind always likes something that's bright, going bright, as easy to see. For class 2P is very tricky because it's bright, at some point it's almost transparent, at further angles it becomes negative. So you see, in terms of simplicity, class 3 is easier to recognize. That's why I said it's most popular. And also that class 3 is more prominent in the shallower areas where most of early and the activities have been done. Now that we are going deeper, we don't see much of this. You begin to see class 2 because of the hardness, then you do see class 2P. Sometimes you see other classes depending on the environment we are looking at. Then to correct the misconception about the AVU getting brighter with depth, it's getting brighter with offsets that I meant, not depth. So AVU changes with depth because of the depth trend. But on the same depth, with offset, increase in offset, you have changes. So what we have modeled, all those balls that I showed at a particular depth, and of them, you see how the AVO, the output is changing with respect to offset. But With the same angle or the same offset, if you go deeper, you will get a different A view for the same angle because of the depth strength. So there are two things that are playing out here. So you need to look at it from the two-dimensional matrix. Offset is one, depth is another one. I hope I've answered all the questions.
Thank you very much. There's a question from the item. But do we see anybody in the audience? Any question? How about online?
It's important to really get the online code. So thank you. Should I start off like I said? And thank you. Excellent talk. Thank you for the workflow you are really put into this office community or geoscience community in Nigeria and by extension any part of the world as case may be in regards to people are setting QI studies. It is important, much as the workflow is very excellent and something to really work to. We need to really guide people with regards to potential pitfalls. Okay, you can build a model, and because your starting point is the model, if the model is wrong for some reasons, then your conclusion will be skewed as well. So I looked at one of the slides where you build your regression for the sun trend. The data points in that cloud are so sparse. That could be a problem. Maybe you might have some words around that. But in the shell trend, you have robust data cloud from where to really decide where a trend should be for that enigma. Shall end. So I think you might want to have a few thoughts around these to really provide some context around that. Your model is now the actual measure of the cycle data. I think lights on the point that the young man also already spoke, not much. So there are cycle data for identity issues. We want to also mention to people to really watch out for, because you're coming from this end of the model space, you're well, and then you're going to the actual measurement, they have that line. Where there is a mismatch, there's a conundrum and a problem, there's a dilemma rather, you want to explain why that is and how to move forward in a near-field exploration space. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that question. And also, I remember now your last question, which aligned with what you have asked. So, indeed, because we are looking at dominant environments, the sands are quite few. It's dominated by shale. So, you can understand one of the reasons why we have fewer member sands to use. And that is a challenge. Our model is as accurate as what we feed into it. But the QI have looked at this thing, closely, and they tried as much as possible to, pick points that could be representative of a larger sample. And that was what was done. But there are also some uncertainty in what we have predicted. I know I did show that here, but there is always an uncertainty in it, so it's not a precise figure. Even the APO responsive to the model, there is a range. There are overlaps between one and the other. But in essence, you look at the mean or the most likely, these are the results that we have to see. So there are cases for exceptions when it comes. In terms of seismic fidelity and signal to noise ratio, it's always a challenge. So one way we try to mitigate against it is also by using the well information. For us to do any study using seismic, we must first of all check to see how well does the seismic speak to the rock. And the link between the seismic and the rock is well. So we do a well to seismic calibration, first of all, to see if we can achieve a good correlation between the well model, that synthetic model from the well, and the seismic response. If they are close or closely matched in terms of amplitude and phase and all those stuff, then we see yes, the seismic and the well, they are close in terms of response. That is first. Then we can also do forward modeling on the well to check our offset gathers. If we do a forward model from the well, no points, and then we check how the forward model, looks or compared to the offset gathers at well known position. then we can know if the seismic has fidelity or not. As for signal to noise ratio, we have a processing team that always try to throw in latest technology to suppress the noise of the eliminate completely. And they throw in every technology they can to at least improve the signal content of the data. And we also measure the quality of the data that was signal to noise. If it's too low, then of course we know that there is a need to we can apply deciding for quantitative measurements. Structural measurements or interpretation, you can use it, but when you want to measure quantitatively, some key things must be there. The amplitude must be true amplitude preserved, and the noise level will be as low as reasonably possible. So that's how it is being done. Thank you.
Any more questions from those one watching online? No question?
There is a question here from Emmanuel Adiwole. Great presentation. Says most of the fields in the Niger Delta are lacking this kind of database to build investment confidence, particularly on yet to drill prospects. I would like to ask if this atlas has been applied to any drilled prospects and what is the result?
Okay, thank you so much. So the line test is actually an application of the atlas to a drilled well, an existing well. We did line tests on 3 wells to check how well the atlas represents the response at those wells. So we have confidence in it. In terms of data, it is an ongoing thing. You continue to build your database. It's something that have been done. If you check from my opening slide, from way back at 2011, efforts have been made to build raw property models, and with each new information that comes in, you build it and you update it. So it's a pity the data is not there. So what we say is to encourage anyone who has a serious business to make data acquisition and also studies an important part of the business. Because if the data is not acquired and then those data are not studied, it may be difficult to come up with such kind of patterns. It's highly dependent on QI petrophysical evaluation. So as it's for a start, there must be a QI petrophysicist that looks at the rocks, looks at the minerals, and then condition them for the raw property modeling. So that is key to have such kind of database. Thank you.
Okay, I think Prof has a question.
No, I was just saying, if there's no, if there are no other questions, maybe I can just ask some. It's very simple. First of all, okay, first of all, I need to commend you. This is a brilliant presentation. I've heard a lot about DPU today, and I've heard throughout my undergraduate studies in the 1970s. And I want to thank you for this type of work, because what we need are models that are applicable to, frontier areas, where there's not much data, and you need to really have a handbook on something you can work. And I really need to commend you on this type of work, and the presentation is brilliant. But let me just ask, the whole concept is that this APU response will be a function of depth, right? And then you talk about litification, that is the compaction, being a critical parameter. Now, we also know that as you go down, deeper, another parameter begins to settle apart from the compaction. And that is new orogenic diagenetic minerals that will appear in the rock. in your lithology, or in your lithotricians, you try to factor in these, if you like, new ghosts that will be appearing, and will they have an impact at some point? Because they will become critical at certain depths. All right. I also saw that you maybe took a great brush on your lithotricians. You characterize them as channel sands. But we know that channel sands is not homogeneous. From the base where you have the gravels, from the small base, it begins to find upwards until you get to very fine lithologies. Okay. So, but you took them just as channel sands. Maybe there's also some, component of individual mineralogy or lithology that will also impact in those things. I know this is a big thing. The studies are ongoing, and but I would like you to think about these other aspects that you need to factor in to fine-tune these models and find wonderful.
Thank you, Prof. Your feedback is well received. So actually, this study did not look at the whole spectrum of what we looked at. In terms of the species, we had about 4 species, but we focus on the child species. We have the tinglets, we have the channel margins, and so on. And also the other little species we talked about that will be coming in due to the burial and mineralogy was not looked at. That data is currently not in the purview of the study. I know it's there as part of the thing that we always review. So that's why we check, we have a band within which the model is valid between 3,500 and 3,000 meters below waterline. So I know when you go deeper, issues of pressures will actually set in, over pressures, other kind of mineralization can happen. So, but the good thing is that the same methodology can apply to those settings. So what we will do is just the data to model it. So once we have the data points, we model it, then we can also understand the type of ABO response that we will get from them.
There are 2 questions from the same person, is anonymous. And it says, thank you for a wonderful presentation. Now, question 1. In your assumptions in fluid property modeling, you use the flag 14 method. What is the difference between the flag 14 and the Basel and Wang's equation, and why did you use the flag 14 method? Should I take the second question or will you take the response first?
And let me respond to this one first. Okay, so the fluid calculator that was used, it was done by the QIP. Okay, so now the flag is a consortium of a group of people that came together. It's believed to be more refined, representing the current industry standards as at when it was done. So I have not done a comparison between the flag and the Basel and Wang, but I know that flag is a consortium. So it's not a one team stuff, it's a consortium of industry experts that build that calculator and they update it every time. That's actually flag 14. They have other flags. For each update, the number changes. So that's why I believe the confidence we use that was higher. So next question.
All right. So the question 2, how do you accurately differentiate between gas saturated versus oil saturated reservoirs using ABO attributes in a complex geological setting with variable lithologies and fluid properties?
Okay, so your person already said the answer. It will be, be tricky to do. It will be tricky. You can only tell that there is ABO. And then if you actually understand the complexity of the reservoir, then you can go to the modeling space and model that reservoir with the fluids in it, and then see what the response will look like. But if you don't have a direct measurement of the reservoir property, maybe by log penetration, it will be difficult to do. So you can only do it when you have data from that reservoir to understand the matrix, the mix, and everything about it, and can model it. So it's not something I do straightforward. And again, the fluid type, fluid property can overlap. Very light gas, sorry, very light oil and gas can give the same behavior when it comes to AVO response. So it's difficult, but then that's where the experts come in and observe everything on the merits to make the best case judgments. Thank you.
All right, so there's another response or question here from Julius A. Thanks for your presentation. What could give a false AVO response, and how does one avoid such pitfall in the exploration stage? That's a two-part question, so maybe we'll take the first one.
Okay. False response is always there. A false response can only happen when you did not anticipate it and model it. So you can have a false battery. For example, if you have a very high porosity reservoir that is wet, it can give you an AVO response, which you can anticipate if you are in an environment where you expect porosity to range between 15 and maybe 20%, and having a 5% porosity. It will give you a response that was not anticipated and you can misinterpret it as hydrocarbon. So that is just one classical example that I'm aware of. Also, the change in the overboarding property of the shale can also give you a false response. So if you expected to have your shales to behave in a particular manner, and for some reason the shale property is different, you can have an AVO response that you may misinterpret. That's why it's important to understand the phase sheet that you are looking at, and then you do a model to see what kind of response do I expect from this phase sheet based on the free content in it.
So I am mindful that time is of great essence to us, but Ernest, thank you very much for that beautiful response. But if I just get back to the previous question, and it highlights very clearly the challenge that we have in some of these things, which is around speed of data and the challenge of operators being able to acquire data, spending money to acquire data, and when you don't have data, there is hardly much you can do. Now we're trying to build atlases you can use to model. So we have a duty to take it back as a message. Various companies and begin to negotiate, legislate, argue, whatever it is, so that we can be more, we can embrace that position. We need to be able to do that. And that's where integration also comes to play. But the question that the last question, false response, which is like false AVO positive. 3 domains to really respond to tackle it from. One is the rock, the other one is the log acquisition, but also the other one is the seismic data, right? Because you can have false positives from seismic data. But if you look at the log response, saturation on the logs, saturation is significant. When you have 5% gas saturation, could show you reading like you have 95% saturation, and that could give you a false positive as case may be, and skew based on your economics. The other one is the seismic data, and you spoke to it actually when you answered earlier around true amplitude processing. If I don't do my proper blanking, moon function, then I can cascade erroneous energy down that can come in masquerade as a great AVO response, but it's something good. It takes experience and practice to be able to notice some of this. But for time, I didn't continue.
All right, so I'll take this question quickly as a follow-up to what Mr. Julius asked. He says, how do you calibrate the BS predicted using the mud rock line model outside brine saturated sands? I didn't get to hear if any fluid replacement modeling was done. Have you checked if there is a correlation between the acquired compressional shear velocity log and the predicted shear wave velocity?
Okay, thank you so much. So There is, I just mentioned in the past that there is a rock property modeling work that was done from 2010, 2011, and also another fleet and rock property modeling that was done in 2015. All these things were done during that study. So the product of that study is the rock model equations that I showed, in some of the slides. So that study was very elaborate, made use of all the available data, all the available free information, and then also the QI geophysicist checked all these relationships using the different QCs to arrive at the clean samples that they will use to build these models. Of course, some samples were looked at and discarded because of one issue or the other, but after the QC and the sample were accepted, they were now used to come up with those models. So apologies is not shown here because it's a totally different study. It's just the product of that study that was used here. So checking the VS, how the VS piece of job was done, was also done in the QIP domain. And that's how we came about the rock property model. So as geophysicists, for example, you want to use models that have been built to build your own forward modeling. So the rock property model is built in the rock domain, and then the geophysics model is built in the forward modeling domain. That's more like the seismic and modeling domain. So they are a bit different, but everything going into this study that is not shown on the slide back. Thank you.
We want to use this opportunity to thank our guest speaker again for this wonderful presentation. Please, can you put your hands together and hand it up?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Mr. Ernest, for that wonderful. You can see how interesting and engaging it's been. More questions are still coming, but we have to be mindful that it's a big day and people need to rush back to the office. That's why please bear with us if we're able to acknowledge your question. I told you, nothing Oracle chapter is when it happens. So just make time to connect with us, and there's no shortage of excitement, inspiration, and entertainment. Thank you very much. Our president, national president, is back on. His audio acted up at the start. I would like to take a word for him. Mr. Adeola,
thank you.
We're happy to bring your words.
Okay, thank you, Doc. Confirm if you can hear me. Can you hear me, please? Okay, so I think it's afternoon now. I would like to say good afternoon to everyone, and my apology, I couldn't get my mic muted earlier, but I want to believe that the chairman and the speakers have actually done us a good favor today in moderating effectively and also in providing us a very insightful discussion this morning stroke afternoon. I would just like to thank everyone who has kept faith with NAPE. This is what we have been doing over the years, and every month we ensure that we keep ourselves abreast of innovation, best practices, and technologies that are available within the industry for us to do our business of oil and gas better. I would like to thank our speaker for today, Mr. Ernest Ikpolo, for taking the time to speak to us. And from the questions and answers section, you can gauge that it has been a very insightful topic and well presented and delivered. So on behalf of the executive of NAPE, the Board of Trustees and the Advisory Council, I want to say thank you to everyone. The fellows that are on the call, I saw a lot of them, and also for the members that are physically present at this technical business meeting. Thank you very much. And please look forward to other exciting technical presentation from other chapters and also from the Lagos office. So thank you, and do have a wonderful day. Bye for now. Over to you, chapter coordinator.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you. Such a blessing to hear your voice. Thank you very much. For now, I will recognize that there are the P there, right?
Yes.
P will recognize your presence, so I don't have. Yeah, and other colleagues, my colleagues who are also there. Thank you very much for being part of this. Because I would like to, make a quick progress on this, and I hand back the microphone to the moderator.
All right. So I think we've done quite well for time, we've done well for message and all the well wishes. So now we've done the Q&A. We would like to take a remark from the sponsors of today's technical meeting. It's amazing. We had a combination of the speaker and the sponsor from two different entities and here giving us the best. So please, I'd like to welcome again the representative of Tech to come forward, sir, and give us your company's sponsors. Thank you so much.
Good everyone. All time there were market for the opportunity. Please energy and development to sponsor this. We are taking this opportunity and privilege to honor the buildings. Also believe that engaging in sort of activity, it helps the community of the scientists, not only in South Africa, but Nigeria at large, to grow the field and more geophysicists from student level to the professional level. So thank you for this opportunity. I will still hope and believe I will keep doing our best. The benefit is continuing. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. We appreciate your support for NAPI, for Harcourt chapter and NAPI as a whole. We also have one of our sponsors who have been with us on last couple of meetings as well. I would like to get their own remark. We'd like to call on the representative of sharpshooters to come forward and give us their own remarks. We have a record, please. Let's put our hands together as she comes forward. Give us the remark from the
Hello everyone, good afternoon. My name is Aganoba and I'm representing Sharpshooters Media. Thank you all so much for the privilege and the opportunity to have done this over time. We are grateful. So Sharpshooters Media, we used to be a photography and videography company, and we've expanded to offer multimedia services to brands and mostly, companies in the energy sector. So encompassing, that's why I say we normally will say we are a one-stop shop for your multimedia needs. I said all this to say, let's say you have a brand uploaded already, or you're about to launch a new company and you want to have your branding, your website, and everything that has to do with putting your company out there. Sharpshooters is your go-to company to see to it that you're properly represented everything that you need regarding to multimedia. We are able to people. Over the years, we've partnered and worked with companies like Seplat, Shell, and so on. And if you look behind, you will see samples of the jobs that we've done. We also have a sister company named Magazine that does personalized magazines to commemorate special events. I know that I used to sing brochures with a certain way. And when I say brochure, let's say funeral magazines, But as sharpshooters, we make them in a way that you will always have it. Yet it's a sad moment, or we want to make it joyful, so that each time you flip through the pages, you will remember the people and have memories of the fun moment to share with that person. So behind, like I said earlier, we have samples of Euclides that we've done in the past. And Euclides is not just for events, we also have Euclides that we've designed for sensitive to say that we've done for companies in the energy sector. So samples of our work are behind again. Just feed your eyes, and I'm sure that touching them and feeling them will give you a glimpse of the things that are capable of doing. Thank you very much for the opportunity, and we're happy to be here. Lastly, when you're here to take your headshot, there's a stand behind where you can take your free headshot. I'm sure there's no caveats. It is totally, there's nothing behind. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, sharpshooters, for your support. And like you said, I've had my head shot 2 times, shot with the camera. 2 times, not anything else. And I hope to get a 3rd one today, so it doesn't hurt. We have 2 more things, 3, and we'll begin to wrap up. So I'd like to invite right now, as we present some plaques to the presenters, I'd like to invite back here our chapter coordinator to coordinate this part, as well as the chairman. He will do the honors as he comes forward.
Thank you very much. And you're important that she emphasized that it's a free headshot with the camera, not the so thank you. Right, we love to in some way say thank you to people who put in effort, want to sponsor, and again to prepare this very valuable slides talk, to share their knowledge with us. And we have a memorial to give to them by way of plaques. And I'd like the chairman of the occasion today, Mr. Mark, is here, represented by Dr. Carl. How can I miss him? Dr. Lee, I can't miss it. Thank you for joining me. So first of all, I'll give Dr. Lee the honor of presenting the presenter plaque to Mr. Ernest on behalf of NAPE, because I didn't engage the PE before now. That's why we are really, I'm going to apologize to him after now. He should have had a part of this activity. But for time, please, you can make welcome Mr. Ernest and then
Mr. Ernest, on behalf of Harcourt chapter, we are giving this plaque to you in appreciation of your outstanding presentation at June 2024 edition of Harcourt chapter of Medical Disease.
Right. So moving forward, I would like to welcome the MDC or Means Technology Geophysicist. Can you come up, please? Let's give you this appreciation. We are thinking you know I had about this. Thank you for showing us for us this month with your resources to sponsor this. And I tell other chapters, call it being brotherhood, call it talking loud, is our technical meetings cost. They cost and we spend to really take care of this business because we know it's important. And it's through collaboration with people like you, other companies, as you sponsor us. We are deeply grateful. So in appreciation of your sponsorship of the NAPE chapter technical meeting for June 2023 edition, we'd like to say thank you. And we hope that when we'll call you again, you will.
Thank you. Thank you.
As at this point, we'd like to invite the GS, our General Secretary, Mr. Callistus, as he gives us the announcements, and right after that, we shall close the prayer. All right, Mr. Callistus.
Yes, for your honor, please. Also telling our next technical meeting has been fully secured for the month of August.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon all once again. Very quickly, we'll be looking at some of the outstanding activities we have, both as a chapter and as NAPE general. Please, let's have the announcement. As you rightly heard today, our sister chapter, that is the North America, will be conducting their own presentation, I think next tomorrow. So you are enjoined to join the sections and then probably answer everything as well. Okay, not forgetting the fact that we still have our conference and exhibition coming up in November from 10th to 14th. We are enjoined to mark our calendars and make all necessary preparations to be part of this conference. For those of you who have been in the conference, you know for sure that our conferences are always top notch, not just for technical enhancements, but only for connects, business-wise, name it. It's equally a very big time to reconnect on what is happening and the updates in the industry. So please make plans and mark your calendar to be part of our conferences. Again, we are calling for some of us, scholars, researchers, who, like today, have a very good presentation to give us at the annual conferences to submit their abstracts and then do that quickly. I think these calls have been on for some time. We will not have the ample of time to have it forever. So if you have any paper or knowledge you want to share with the NAPE community, now is the time to do the needful, submit your abstract so that we can create the space or have the space for you to talk to us. Again, well, still on the registration, please, let's go. Like I said, it's a very big place for us to, gather during the November 10th to 14th. Companies are not left out. As a company, we have exhibition spaces for you to see what you're doing, tell the professional community about your innovations and your technical know-how. The exhibition spaces are currently being, advertised. So if you're interested to exhibit what you do or be part of the exhibition, please call in for your space. Again, the student community is not left out when it comes to NAPE conferences. There is a competition, what we call the basic evaluation competition. This is a hands-on competition. Both the students and the mentors are equally reminded on the need to, indicate interest. Here, students are exposed to the real data to work on, from conceptualization, basic evaluations, and possible results, depending on the data available. This is a hands-on experiment and competition. It's a very good one for students. And then for mentors that are in the industry that can probably, share their knowledge in grooming the students to be part of this competition. Okay, yeah, that's the details we decide on. Next. Here I have to say this for some of us who are currently following up with NAPE activity this year. NAPE now have an all-new member portal that has just been launched a few days back.
This upgrade has been going on for some time now, but it's ready for our usage. We are enjoying to log in and try and enjoy the updates. There's e-library for us to access now. There is a lot of things upgraded on this, including our abstracts previous. You can access a lot of things now on the new portal. So please, every time, make sure you navigate or solve and then enjoy the audio website. Not forgetting that everything about administration is all about leadership. The NAPE, as we are aware, it's in the process of conducting the election for our new next administrators. So if you have not updated yourself with the process, please do. Everybody who is a member and be receiving this update at some time. Those who are to nominate and be nominated, I think the time for nomination and the last is in the process of unveiling and an election program. That's where we are. So acquaint yourself with this so that we run along with this and then let those who will hand over the administration next year for them to take us to the promised land. This conference is coming up sometime in July, I think. Yes. Target to sorry?
Yes, you can.
Oh, let me go actually. So please, it is still part of our sister association where we share knowledge and then increase our value in the community. That's very important. We are reminded of the need to update our membership. There is no association without financial commitments. And it's through this our financial commitment that we run the association. As a member, you can't claim membership without having to renew your membership. So please renew your membership dues as a member. And if you've not registered, please do well to reach out and then you'll be assisted.
And that is just annual.
Yes. I mean, back to that, yes. I mean, this figure we're seeing here is annual. You can see a total of 12,000 naira, which is like 1,000 naira or something like that. So you can see it's near to nothing for all active members. So it's something we can just close our eyes and do what? So we are enjoying to do that. But then for corporate members, again, they're not that. All you need to do is activate your membership via the corporate membership dues. Students equally are enjoying to do so. For those of us who are still in it.
And remember when you register to indicate that you're from Morocco chapter.
Okay, good. Yes, very important because I mean, chapters need to, have their bragging rights. Thank you, my friend. Very good for one. All right. Okay. This will be from the office of the president-elect, who is the chairman of the continuing education program. We, as the coordinator has already said before, things like this cost money. Takes a lot to organize a technical section, and companies, corporates, individuals, name it, we're called to support NAPE and to make sure that our continuing education program is constant and it remains our medium of exchanging and growing technically. Thank you very much. That will be it for now. Thanks.
All right, so how would I ask you for ourselves? By the time that we are spending together, thank you for your participation, your patience. Thank you to all the panelists as well, the speaker, everyone here present. Thank you so much. So we're wrapping up the meeting now. So just remember after the meeting, you can stay back to network, but also there are some nice refreshments being offered to us graciously by the sponsors. So thank you so much for that. So we'll close the prayer shortly, and after that, feel free to mingle with everyone you meet here, and that's one of the goals of NAPE as well. So thank you once again. So if you may rise, that's okay. And as we began, we simply say we thank you. for everything he has done. We give him the glory, we give you all the praise. Thank you for this successful meeting we've had in this month of June. And we thank you in advance for the month of August. In Jesus' name. Amen. So, amen.
Bon appetit.
Bon appetit. Allez. All right, thank you everyone. God bless.
Yes.
Yeah.